Okay everyone, this video about again 9th graders and chapter 1 section 2 multiplying and dividing square root expressions. So there are some sentences: square root of 14, square root of 3 squared plus 4 squared, that's inside the radical. These are some expressions. As you see, they have square root 5 times, square root of 4 times 2. So the expressions inside the square symbol is radicand, that we will not use very much. The square root of expression is in its simplest form. That is important. Let's mark it that one. Yeah, with that color. Okay. In its simplest form, if the radicand has no factor which is a perfect square. So if it's a perfect square, we can simplify it. It's not look like fractions, but inside the square root, inside the radical sign, we don't need any perfect square factor, of course. So there are some rules about it, and because of our topic is multiplying and dividing, the first one is multiplication. If we have two positive number inside the square root, a multiply b, I can separate it a multiplied by square root of b. So inside the square root of I have a times b, so square root of a multiplied by square root of b. The second rule, it's about division. If I have a fraction or division inside the square root a divided by d, I can separate it square root of a divided by square root of b. So these are some rules maybe your teacher told you in the lesson. There is another one, another two rules. If we have a b squared or squared number under the square, so let's write it. I will write a little large it from here. That's okay. Such as a number and there's a square. I can remove this square and square root, so I will get only b. By the other ways, if I have a square root number, if I use square of it, we will get only the number itself. So there are some properties of square root, you can call that way, or some rules. But we will use these rules. Let's start using. Why will we use these rules at least? Check who squared 180. So 180, I need to factorize it. I already know it's equal to 36 multiplied by 5. So 36 is a perfect square and multiplied by 5. So I can separate this square root. It's square root of 36 multiplied by, at least I can factorize, you can say that way, square root of 5. So square root of 36 is 6 multiplied by square root of 5. So I can write 6 times square root of 5. This is the first one. Second one, square root of 40. And I can say it's 4 times 10. Square root of 40 is equal 4 multiplied by 10. 4 is a perfect square. Here I am thinking about perfect squares. So 4 is a perfect square factor of 40. So it's equal to square root of 4 multiplied by square root of 10. So 2 square root of 10. 648, that's 64, 81. Yeah, 81, because 64 is divided by 8 divided by 8, 1. So I can say square root of 648, it's equal 81 multiplied by 8. So it's equals square root of 81 multiplied by square root of 8. This is 9 times square root of 8. Here be careful. In this one it was easy. I find 36. I find 4 here. So it's become 2 times square root of 10. But 8, I told you, if it's simplest form, inside the square root, we don't need any perfect square factor. So we don't need squared numbers. Such as 8. 8 is equal to 4 times 2. So as you see, 8 is equal to 4 times 2. So I can continue the same idea. It's equal to square root of 4 multiplied by square root of 2. What is square root of 4 is 2. 9 times 2 times square root of 2. Sorry, I don't want to use different signs. 9 times 2 times square root of 2. What is 9 times 2? 18 square root of 2. So even I can say that 106, I can say that 200, oh wait a minute, 321 or something like that. 18 squared, it's a very large number, even hard for me. So if you get 8, if you get a perfect factor here, if you think 4 times 2, you can separate it again by using same idea from here to there. Okay, let's use that. Let's see that one. This one is division actually. So I can separate the square root of 17. So there is no perfect factor, and square root of 25. What is square root of 25? I cannot do anything about 17, but square root of 25 is 5. Let's continue that one. Square root of 7 divided by square root of 16. What is square root of 16? 4. Denominator gets 4. What is square root of 7? It's square root of 7. There is no perfect factor. Same idea. Square root of 6 divided by square root of 49. So square root of 6 over 7. That's all. Okay, there are some good examples. As you see, this time we have square root of 3 multiplied by square root of 12, and I can write it under the same square. What is my target? I already know 3 times 12 is 36. So it's equals square root of 36. What is square root of 36? Any idea? 6. Good. And look at that one. Square root of 5 multiplied by 20. Separately both of, and square root of 20 has perfect square root as 4. But let's do something like that. Right under the same square root of 5 times 20, and you will get 100. 5 times 20 is 100. It's equal square root of 100. What is square root of 100? It's 10. So if there are 2 square root, and you can write under the same, inside the same square root. More examples. These are separated, and that's a fraction. 20 divided by 5. What is 20 divided by 5? 4. What's square root of 4? It's equal 2. And square root of 30, oops, it's already separated, so I want to write, so I can simplify 30 and 6. Square root of 30 divided by 6. So what is 30 divided by 6? Square root of 5. Square root of 5. 5 is not a perfect square, so square root of 5, the answer. That's our number here. That's the end of this video. Sorry to take your time. Thanks for watching.